Hi class, welcome to week 2. I am hopeful that I can get through this announcement without coughing. The Good household, my children, has been infected with nasty germs, pink eye and strep throat. So doing my best over here and be glad you don't have to see me in person with all the germs I'm probably carrying. So on to week 2. As always, remember to check the announcement sections when you first get into Blackboard. This is my main means of communication. Sometimes these announcements will get sent to you in an email, other times they won't. So always make sure that you check the announcement sections to make sure that you're up to date with anything that I've told you, informed you, or just sent out to you. So when we click on week 2, this is what comes up. This week we're going to be talking about career counseling models and integrating career and personal counseling. So make sure that you read chapter 3 and 4. And there's another article down here. This article is entitled Finding True North. It's important that you read this article. It's going to be utilized in your final paper as well. So those are the readings for this week. The preparation section down here discusses just to visit the NCDA website, and the link is right there. There's going to be several theme papers coming up that discuss the need to look at this website. So it's a good idea to start to become familiar with it. And then there's a notation here to always think about your final paper, and I'll talk about that in a minute. It's due at the end of week 7, but it's a good idea as we're talking about these various theories and other things to really start thinking about it and working on it. There's a number of video clips down here. You'll see they're approximately 23 minutes in life and talking specifically about happenstance theory from Krumboltz. So you can review that. What is graded this week? You have your discussion board. Your initial post is due Thursday by midnight, and you're to respond to at least 2 peers Sunday by midnight. Make sure you look at the discussion board rubric and the assignment below in order to really satisfy all the requirements, especially when we're thinking about like peer response posts that you're adding to the conversation. That's what I always like to say, that you're not simply saying thank you or good point, but they're adding something substantive to the conversation to keep it going. You're going to notice in week 1, I posted a curveball post. I'm going to continue to do that most likely for each week. This week I posted it a little bit later because with it being week 1, the initial post took a little while to get going. So usually I like to read the initial post and create my question around those posts. And then also I intended to post it on Friday, but I was out of my work office for most of the day, so I didn't get the chance to come back and do so. So you have your discussion board and your theme 2 paper, which is submitted Sunday by midnight. With your discussion board, you're going to be looking at difficulties confronting integrated and holistic counseling, and then how you would inform a client about a personal problem and how this might have an impact on their career choice as well. So start thinking about that. And down here's the directions for the theme paper. So remember, it should be around 5 pages, APA format. And with this paper, you're going to identify 3 major milestones in your career and principal actions or advice that help you to move forward in your career. You're going to make sure to have the title page, abstract page, reference page, and 2 pages of content. So that's where your 5 pages come from. Include 2 peer-reviewed references, 1 which is not from the text. So looking at your own milestones and actions, advice that helped you along the way. I said here that I wanted to take a highlight about your final paper. If you we'll click on week 7 and scroll to the bottom. That's where the directions are going to be for the signature assignment for the final paper. So remember, when it's a signature assignment, for those of you who are new, or just as a refresher, you're going to submit it via Turnitin. With Turnitin, it's a database that compares your content of your paper to a wide database of other papers that have been submitted to really determine any similarity score. So I'll talk about that more a little bit later. But start looking through what's expected of you in these 1, 2, 3 points and these bullet points down below. And as you're looking at the various theories, the different topics, maybe create a Word document or some notes or an outline to start really gathering information or different resources that you found. And down here it talks about how there needs to be 10 peer-reviewed resources, and one of them must be the article from this week. So start thinking about it, planning for it. I always try and give little pointers with that so that when it comes up here in week 7 that you're not surprised, because these classes do go by quickly. So you have your readings for this week, your discussion board, your theme paper, and these various resources here as well. I hope we have a good week. I will be working my best at the beginning of this week to grade the discussion boards as well as the theme papers. I usually try and get my grades submitted as soon as possible by Tuesday or Wednesday, especially because with these theme papers, it kind of gives you an idea of how I grade and what that looks like in order for you to be successful as you're writing your second one. All right, thank you, and I look forward to week 2 together.